Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to the ASMR channel, where there is background noises, where there is amazing quality, where there is a very clean, organized space to not stress anyone out. Hey, the bed's made actually a little bit. Where there is fine talking and not a bunch of ums after each sentence. What else is there? It's a lot of great stuff. Anyway, we are sorry if I'm talking too loud. We are getting to chapter I don't know, but I do know it's part 4. Let's go for part 4. I believe we were on like page 50 something, but I will double check. And I'm actually going to point the microphone more so this way so we don't get all that background noise. How's that? I don't know if that's going to work, but we will try. We will try. Was it chapter 8? I think it was. I think it is. Yep. We are on chapter 8 right after they finished going to the tree. They got, Adam got stuck in the tree and they had to pull him out, and now they're about to go to the last place that the riddle has, I guess, for the life of Madeline Templeton, the ancestor witch. Okay, everyone. Well, if you enjoy this series, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment of your favorite movie, and if you don't like it, leave a thumbs down. And if you have a complaint, go to HR. Here we go. Chapter 8. There were other interesting stories surrounding Madeline Templeton. Watch related several of them while they hiked toward their next destination. When she was 16, she was supposed to have climbed up to one of the largest of the caves that overlooked Spooksville and wrestled a huge mountain lion. She supposedly killed the lion with her nails, Watch said. She wore them long. I heard the tips of them were poisonous, Sally added. Are we going to this cave next? Adam asked unenthusiastically. He was scared of entering any more places that could abruptly close him up inside. Yes, Watch said. I've been there before and had no problems. You were inside the tree before too and had no problems, Sally reminded him. We'll go in together, Watch said. We should be safe. Sounds like a plan for a disaster, Sally remarked. But assuming we survive the cave, have you figured out the rest of the path? I don't want to waste all of my time and energy hiking in circles around this town I hate. Watch nodded. I think I remembered the highlights of her life. We hit the cave next, then head for the chapel. Why the chapel? Sally asked. I don't think it existed when Madeline was alive. It didn't, Watch said, but she got married on the spot where the chapel was later built. She was 28 years old then, and that would be the next big event in her life that we know about. After the chapel, I think we have to visit the reservoir. What happened at the reservoir? Adam asked. That's where she drowned her husband, Sally said. That's what the stories say, Watch added. People say she tied his legs down with heavy stones and pushed him screaming off a boat that was floating in the center of the reservoir. Why? Adam asked. She thought he was chasing another woman, Sally said. Turned out she was wrong, but she didn't find out until after she buried the other woman alive. Wonderful, Adam said. After the reservoir, we go back to the beach. Watch said. That's where the townsfolk tried to burn her alive for being a witch the first time. What do you mean they tried to burn her? Adam asked. The wood they stacked up around her refused to catch fire, Sally said. and snakes crawled out of it and killed the judge who condemned her to death. You remember that story the next time you get the urge to visit her great-great-great-granddaughter, Anne Templeton. After the beach, we go to the cemetery, Watch said. Sally stopped him in the mid-stride. There's no way we're going there. Even you know that's a stupid idea. Dead people live there. Live people. Sorry, I couldn't understand that. Live people die there. She was buried in the cemetery, Watch said. To reach the end of the secret path, we must follow her life to the end. Bum made that clear. Bum was anything but clear, Sally said. Let's worry about the cemetery when we get that far, Watch said. Yeah, Sally said sarcastically. We might be ready for the cemetery by then. We might be dead. They hiked up to one of the largest caves that overlooked Spooksville. Adam was breathing hard by the time they reached it, and was getting hungry. From the outside, the cave didn't appear threatening. The opening was wide. None of them would have to squeeze inside, but the moment they stepped in, Adam felt the temperature drop at least 10 degrees. He asked Watch about it. Underground streams flow beneath these caves, Watch said. The water in them is freezing. If you listen closely, you can hear the splashing. Adam stopped and listened. Not only did he hear a faint splashing sound, but an even fainter moaning sound. What's that? He asked the others. Ghosts, Sally said. There are no ghosts, Adam said indignantly. Listen to Mr. Realist, Sally mocked. He doesn't believe in ghosts, even though a tree almost ate him an hour ago. She turned to Watch. We've done our duty. We came here. We don't have to stay. Let's go. Watch agreed. They left the cave without being attacked and hiked toward the chapel. Sally wanted to visit the reservoir first, since it was along the way. But Watch insisted they stick to the correct sequence. The chapel turned out to be the least scary place, although the church bell began to ring as they walked up, and didn't stop until they walked away. Sally thought the bell was trying to warn them to turn back. Before it's too late, she said. The reservoir was creepy, the water an odd color, sort of grayish. Adam wasn't happy to learn that all the town water came from it. The area around it was similar to the space inside the tree. It was unnaturally silent. Their words, as they spoke, seemed to die in the air. Sally wondered out loud how many bodies were buried under the water's surface. I don't know, Watch said, but I do know no fish can live in the reservoir. They die? Adam asked. Yes, Watch said. They throw themselves onto the shore and die. They would rather die than live here, Sally said. Kansas City didn't have these kind of problems, Adam said. They returned to the beach. By this time, the day was wearing on, and Adam thought his parents would be worrying about him, but Watch was against his stopping home and telling them he was okay. We don't want to wander off the path, Watch said. We might have to start over at the beginning. You might also be about to disappear permanently, Sally said. It's better you don't give your parents any false reassurances. Bum was no longer at the beach, and Watch wasn't sure where the angry mob had tried to burn Madeline Templeton 200 years ago. But Watch suspected they tried to kill her near the jetty, because that's where the wood from the ocean usually washed up on shore. They were lazy in those days, Watch said. When they wanted to burn someone to death, they didn't like to search for wood. The jetty felt sufficiently creepy, but Adam was too distracted by the thought of the cemetery to worry about it. Ordinary cemeteries were not on Adam's list of favorite places to visit, and he suspected Spooksville Cemetery would be 100 times worse than a normal one. As they walked toward it, Sally didn't exactly try to put his mind at ease. A lot of people buried in Spooksville aren't completely dead, she said. The local undertaker is always out hustling business. If you have a bad cold, he wants you to come down to his showroom to pick out a coffin, just in case the cold goes into your chest and you choke to death. I've got to admit, though, a tour of his stock can make you get better in a hurry. I don't believe any undertaker could be so crude and cruel, Adam said. I've heard scratching sounds coming from underground while walking in the cemetery, Watch said. I think a few people got boxed up a little too soon. That's horrible, Adam said, appalled. Why didn't you get a shovel and dig those people out? I have a bad back, Watch said. And you don't want to go digging up people who've been in the ground for a few days, Sally said. They might try to eat your brains. Adam began to have second thoughts. I've had kind of a long day moving and getting attacked by the tree and all. Maybe I should catch up with you guys later. Are you chickening out? Sally asked. No, Adam said quickly. I'm just stating a fact. He paused. Besides, you've been against this quest from the start. It's my nature to be against anything unnatural, Sally said. And I think this secret path qualifies. If you really are scared, Watch said, I don't want to force you into it, Adam. I told you guys I'm not scared, Adam said quickly. I'm just tired. No problem, Watch said. We won't hold your sudden and unexpected wave of tiredness against you, Sally added. It's not sudden and unexpected, Adam protested. If you just moved here from Kansas City, you'd be tired too. Particularly if I was about to visit a cemetery where people are often buried alive, Sally said. I told you, I don't believe in ghosts, Adam said. They don't scare me. Good for you, Sally said. Adam felt cornered and humiliated. All right. I'll go to the cemetery, but that's as far as I'll go. I have to get home right after. If what Bum said is true, Watch warned, you might not get home until very late. Chapter 9. Chapter 9. The cemetery was surrounded by a high gray brick wall. The front gate was made of wrought iron, rusted metal bars twisted upward into points. The few trees that littered the gravesite were limp and colorless. They looked like the skeletons of real trees. Adam could see no way in and felt a moment of relief. They'd have to quit. Unfortunately, Watch had other ideas. There's some loose bricks around back, Watch said. If you suck in your breath, you can just squeeze through the space. What if we get stuck? Adam asked. You of all people should know the answer to that question, Sally said. The brick wall won't hurt you, Watch said. It isn't alive. Just like the people locked inside, Sally said menacingly. Getting through the small opening proved easy. But once they were inside and making their way around the tombstones, Adam began to get the sinking feeling that nothing else would be easy. He definitely didn't want to be fooling around the dead witch's grave. Excuse me. He could see her old castle peering down at them. A tall tower rose from the rear of the huge stone building. He thought he caught sight of a dull red light glowing from a window at the highest point. The light of a fire, perhaps, of many candles at least. He could imagine Anne Templeton sitting in that tower in a black robe and staring into a crystal ball, watching the three kids who dared to defy her ancestor's grave, cursing them for even thinking about it. She was a beautiful woman, true, but striding toward her great-great-great-great-grandmother's grave, Adam began to believe Sally's warning about Anne. He began to believe that Spooksville really did deserve its wicked name. Madeline Templeton's tombstone was larger than any other in the cemetery. Its shape was odd, rather than having a cross at the top or a half dome. The top of the dark marble was cut in the shape of a raven. The bird glared down at them as if they were its prey. Adam blinked up at the deep black eyes that seemed to stare back at him. Over and around the grave, on all sides, the ground was bare. Adam realized that no grass could grow so close to the remains of the witch. What a nice place for a picnic, Sally said sarcastically. She turned to Watch. What do we do now? Wish ourselves into another dimension? I don't think it's that easy, Watch said. We have to figure out the last part of the riddle. He paused and repeated Bum's words. Follow her all the way to her death. And remember, when they brought her to her grave, they carried her upside down. They buried her face down, as they do all witches, all those they are afraid to burn. Watch paused to clean his glasses on his shirt. I don't think any of us can walk in here upside down. That's a pity, Adam said. You look heartbroken, Adam, Sally said. Watch began to walk around the large tombstone. He gestured in the direction of the cemetery's entrance. That must have been the entrance, even then, so they must have carried her coffin in from over there. We should probably start there and walk this way, but I don't think that's going to work. Bum was trying to tell us something more with this riddle. Watch frowned. Do either of you have any ideas? Not me, Sally said, pacing several steps away from the grave and plopping down on the ground. I'm too tired and hungry. She patted the spot beside her. Why don't you rest, Adam? I think we've done pretty good to figure out any other riddle, Adam said, joining Sally on the ground. It was good to rest. He felt as if he had just walked to the west coast from Kansas City. He called over to Watch, who continued to stroll around the tombstone. We can always decipher the last part later. Sally smiled at Adam. Do you want me to rub your feet? She asked sweetly. That's all right, Adam said. I have a gentle touch, Sally said. Save your strength, Adam said. We could get a coffin, Watch suggested from behind the tombstone, and I could lie inside it upside down, and the two of you could carry me over here. The coffins they sell in town lock when you close them, Sally said, lying back and staring up at the sky. Remember the scratching sounds? I don't think we have the strength to carry you in a coffin, Adam said, distracted as he watched the dull red light radiating from the top of the nearby castle tower begin to flicker. Actually, it wasn't so dull anymore. Maybe Ann Templeton had decided to light more candles or throw another log on the fire. What did she do up there? Adam wondered. Was she really a witch? Could she really turn boys into frogs and girls into lizards? Adam couldn't get her voice out of his head. While Watch continued to poke around behind him and Sally lay snoozing, Adam thought of the strange things she had said to him. Nothing is the way it looks. Nobody is just one way. When you hear stories about me, perhaps from this skinny girl here, perhaps from others, know that they're only partially true. But she had seemed to like him. You have such nice eyes. Did you know that, Adam? Adam didn't think she tried to hurt him. I will see both of you later, under different circumstances. The light in the tall tower flared again. Candles didn't usually burn so red. Adam found himself unable to quit staring at the light, at the tower. He thought he saw the shadow of Ann Templeton step up to the window. Would you like to visit me there someday? She looked down at him, smiled down at him, her lips the color of fire, her eyes glowing like a cat's. Oh no, Adam whispered to himself. Sally nudged him in the side. Adam, she said, sounding worried. Yes, he mumbled, feeling hypnotized. Sally shook him. Adam. He looked over at her. What's the matter? He said. What's the matter with you? Sally looked up at the castle tower. She's trying to put a spell on you. Adam shook himself. The red light was gone, as was the image of the beautiful woman. The structure could have been deserted for 200 years. No, I'm fine, really. He did feel kind of cold though, but I think we should get out of here. He did feel kind of cold though. But I think we should get out of here. He glanced around. Where's Watch? Sally frowned. I don't know. She jumped up to her feet. Watch? Watch? Adam, I don't see him. Watch? They called for 10 minutes straight, but their friend was gone. Chapter 10. They found Watch's glasses in the dirt in front of the tombstone. Adam half expected to discover a bloodstain on them when he picked them up, but they were only dirty. Watch can't walk 10 feet without his glasses, Sally whispered. But he must have walked out of here, Adam said. No, Sally replied gloomily. What are you saying? He's gone? But he didn't walk out of here. He vanished. I didn't see him vanish, Adam said. What did you see? Adam was confused. I don't know. I was staring up at the tower. He pointed to the skeleton trees toward Ann Templeton's home. There was a red glow coming from the highest window. He shook his head and peered up at the sky. It seems later than it should be. Did we fall asleep? Sally also appeared puzzled. I didn't think so. I know I just lay down for a minute, but then I think I dreamed. What did you dream? Adam asked. Fear entered Sally's eyes. About the day they buried the witch. I saw them carry her body in here. They were all scared. They thought it might come back to life and eat them. She shook her head, but it was just a dream. Adam gestured with Watch's glasses in the sand. We have to find Watch. He turned toward the back of the cemetery where they entered. Sally stopped him. Watch didn't leave the cemetery, she said firmly. Then where is he? Adam asked. Don't you see? He found the end of the secret path. She pointed at the witch's tombstone. He went through there. Adam shook his head. That's impossible. Why would he be the only one to vanish? Why not us? He did something special. You're sure you didn't see him? I told you, I didn't. Sally walked around the tombstone, talking all the time. He was trying to figure out what the end of the bum's riddle meant. He must have hit upon the solution, maybe even by accident. She paused to consider, reciting the lines once more. Follow her all the way to her death, and remember, when they brought her to her grave, they carried her upside down. Sally shook her head. Watch couldn't have walked up to the tombstone upside down. There was no one to carry him. Adam had an idea. Maybe we're looking at this too literally. It is a riddle after all. Upside down is, in a way, another way of saying backward. Sally came closer. I don't understand. Adam pointed toward the cemetery entrance. Bum might have been telling us she was brought in here backward. Maybe all we have to do, here at the end of the secret path, is approach the tombstone walking backward. Sally jumped. Let's try it. Wait a second. What if it works? We want it to work. We have to give Watch his glasses. Sally paused. You're not getting scared again. Adam spoke impatiently. I wasn't scared to begin with. What I'm saying is even if we do go through the doorway into another dimension, how do we know we'll end up in the same dimension Watch is? Bum said there were many Spooksvilles on the other side. I guess there's no way to tell unless we try it. We'll just have to risk it. Adam shook his head. I'll risk it alone. You stay here and stand guard. What am I standing at guard against? All the dangers on the other side. I'm coming with you. No, you said it yourself. It could be dangerous. Sally stared at him. You're not just trying to impress me, are you? Because if you are, it's not necessary. I like you already. Adam sighed. I'm not trying to impress. I'm just trying to keep you from getting killed. Sally snorted. Adam, you just got here. I grew up in Spooksville. Dark doorways are an everyday occurrence for me. She reached for his hand. Come, we'll go together, holding on to each other. That way, if we end up in the witch's evil realm, I'll have someone cute to keep me company for the rest of eternity. Adam hesitated. You really think I'm cute? Yes, but don't let it go to your head. She paused. Don't you think I'm cute? Cute? Adam shrugged. Well, yes, I suppose. You look all right. Sally socked him. All right. I look all right? Brother, you have a thing or two to learn about insecure females. She took his hand. Let's do this quick before I lose my nerve. Adam could feel her trembling. You are scared, aren't you? Sally nodded. I'm terrified. Adam nodded. So am I. He tightened his grip on Watch's glasses. But we've got to try. Our friend could be in danger. You sound like a hero on a movie of the week, Sally said. I've been called worse. Together they walked to the entrance of the cemetery. Then, still holding hands, they began to walk backward toward the tombstone. It was difficult because they had to keep glancing over their shoulders to keep from stumbling. Adam found, as they neared the grave, that his heart was pounding wildly. The sky seemed to dim more. Out of the corner of his eye, he thought he saw a red light flicker in the tower of Anne Templeton. He believed he saw her image beckoning him, laughing at him. The tombstone rose up behind them. The wind stirred. Dust flew, blinding them. Adam, Sally cried suddenly. Adam felt himself stumble. No, it was more as if he had tripped and fallen off a cliff, an invisible precipice at the edge of the world. The earth disappeared beneath his feet. The sky ceased to exist. He fell without moving. He continued to grip Sally's hand, although she could have been a million light years away for all he could see of her. In fact, he could see nothing, not even the dark storm that lifted him up as swiftly as it threw him down, dropping him in another time, in another dimension. Chapter 11. Okay, so I'm actually going to stop here. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes. It looks like we have... Goes up to chapter... Was that 17? Goes up to chapter 17, so we have about this much left right here. Which is kind of like a little more than a quarter of the book, I guess. Yeah, a little more than a quarter of the book. And then it goes into the epilogue. And the epilogue is like 2 pages for the second book of Spooksville. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how everything is. If the sound's okay. I know the quality's not the best, the lighting's not the best, but this really is it's the easiest way, but it's also like, I guess it is just like the easiest way. I could try another setup, however, it's too hard, honestly. I would have to grab a table that would work with the setup and put it off to the side, and then set up my tripod, and then I would have to get an SD card, edit it, and then bring it through, and that's a lot of work. Also, if you could leave a comment, it would be great about the advertisements, because I want you guys to know I do not make money from any of this, like literally not a penny. So there should not be any ads. However, I looked back on one of my videos because I was curious where I was at in my book, and or something else, and I saw that there was an ad at the beginning, and I have no idea why that is. So maybe someone can help me out with that, because Maybe it's just something I haven't seen in YouTube that I have to turn off. But yeah, there shouldn't be any ads because I don't get paid from YouTube or in any other way. So I don't want there to be any ads. I hate ads. I find them incredibly annoying. And yeah, so I'm going to try to look into that. But let me know and just leave a comment if there was an ad or not, because I'm just kind of curious. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the Spooksville book. I may, after this, start another book. Maybe it'll be Spooksville, maybe it'll be something else, maybe it'll be like a short story. Maybe I'll read one of my short stories. Maybe I'll make a scary short story, because actually I've been wanting to create a scary short story. I have a pretty good idea for something. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying this, and have a very, very, very good night. Good night.